It's Dave, LoFiTrader. We are going to do the NVDA earnings today, so I hope you enjoy. They should be coming out in about 10 minutes. Hit the intro. All right, guys, it's been a little while since I've been on, but what's going on? Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Glad you're all here. I'm just going to wait for a little bit, and we will hop right into the action. NVIDIA will move the markets. So if you haven't been with me before, we like to keep things zoomed in when the earnings comes out, and we will listen to exactly what's going on. I got it popped up over here, so that way we can listen to them. They will send me the email out probably right around 4 o'clock when it pops up. So let me just shoot out some messages here, make sure that we have everybody that we need to in, and make sure I got everything needed. Give me 1 sec. All right. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good time. I'm interested to see what goes down today, baby. When it comes to NVIDIA earnings, the last time it moved a crazy amount. Crazy amount. This was the last time we streamed anyway, was Q1. Moved crazy. And then this thing got really volatile. Q2, Q3. Didn't do too heck of a much, but it did just land into that 500, and I talked to you guys about that 500 over and over again. We talked about 500. 500 was a very key volatile area, and what happened when it broke out of that 500 area? It took off to the north side. Talked about it for a long time. I capitalized a little bit on it, but not nearly as much as I should have, to be very honest with you. But hey, it is what it is. Making money, baby. So let me shoot the message out here. Make sure we get all my buddies. We want all my buddies in here. But we only got about 8 minutes till the actual earnings gets dropped, I believe, right after. And then after earnings gets dropped, then we'll have the earnings call pop up there, which will always be awesome to hear what their guidance is going to be. Let me go ahead and get into my community here, shoot some messages out. Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. It's been a while. Got to remember how to do half of this. There we go. All right. One more, and then I'll be able to stay focused here. Let's see. Shoot this out real quick. All right. Should be pretty good. Good to go now. All right. Now, need me to check my email. Make sure we stay up to date on this. We want to make sure we're getting everything when we need to get it. And we'll just keep this up right here. It says Q4 earnings call. Bam. Let's go to Gmail here. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty cool. Pretty volatile. We will see right away. It should pop up on this news feed in Thinkorswim. Very fast. We will see. Let's see, Q4, here it is, 5 p.m. Eastern. You have pre-registered for the following event. You have successfully registered for the NVIDIA Q4 FY24 earnings call. This event will take place February 24th. That's today at 6 p.m. Looking good. So we might be on here for a little bit, but the earnings should come out at 4. So that's 6 p.m. No, 5 p.m. 5 to 6 p.m. Excuse me. Ooh, my eyeballs are getting fried. So 5 to 6 p.m. So, and the earnings should be right after Eastern U.S. and Canada. All right. So we'll be hanging out for just a tiddly sprinkles. We'll make sure everybody gets in here, and I'm keeping an eye on everyone, so that way we don't leave no man behind. So good to see ya. We got 3 of you in here already. Make sure you smash that like button while you're here. If you don't know how to do it, well, it's pretty simple. Right underneath your screen, if you look over here on the right hand side, you'll see a like button. If you smash it, it lights up. It's a beautiful thing. Do appreciate your time here. Bam! We got 4 of you in here already, so I appreciate you being here. The earnings, they'll be coming out. They'll be talking, just coming right around the corner here. Just about an hour. Everything should be good to go. We're golden. We got the email in, so we will hear them chittily chatting. The second I hear it, you're going to hear it as well through the snowball. And then right here in about 3.5 minutes, we're going to have the earnings pop up here. And I'll give them to you the second I see them. And we're going to see the markets move, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see the markets move. They are going to move beautifully, I am sure. So what we got here is a beautiful leader. You know, we talked about this 500 many times, many moons ago. We talked about how this leader was going to just be on ultra ramp style, and it did exactly that. So that being said, we want to see it continue. We want to see this thing continue because it's what's been holding the market up for so long is AI and technology. Obviously, it is pretty extended. A pullback to this 21-day moving average is nice, but you never know with these Q4 earnings coming up what exactly can happen. Now, that being said, you always know that whether the earnings come out in a positive result or not, it doesn't matter. This thing could move one way or the other. Really, it's the guidance. It's the guidance that they see. If the guidance looks good, if the Q4 earnings comes out and things look good, things seem to be doing a-okay, it's going to be the guidance that really moves this. So we're going to see some volatile action coming up here in just a few minutes, but it's the guidance. If the guidance comes out and it goes absolutely bonkers and they're expecting another huge earnings update to come out just like they did the previous Q3, 2, and 1, then we're going to see some huge moves to the upside. So let me see if I can figure out how all of this works out while we're doing that. Video analytics, no, that's not how that works. Let's see. There we go. Analytics. There we go. Yeah, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. So when I hop on here and I see a little bit of this and a little bit of that going on, I need to refamiliarize myself with some of these things. Obviously, I've been very tuned into the market. It looks like we've got 1 minute to the market closes here, and we're going to see an awesome earnings. We'll see if this thing pops up right away for us. I'll bring up the news down here on the bottom so that way I get it as quick as I possibly can. So yeah, that's all looking good, looking so good and tasty. So let's see here. We got 35 seconds now. 35 seconds until we see the beat drop. Looks like we're getting a bit of a push right here, right into the close. Throw it on the 1 minute here just to make it look real nice and crazy for y'all. We're going to see what happens right after close. They should be dropping some stuff, and we're going to see exactly what's going to go down. Do. All right, here we go. And that's the bell. Let's see what we got here. We are starting to see a bit of a spike. Do. Well, at least we know my sound's working when you hear that bell. Loud and clear. Update on the earnings here. Conference call, 4 p.m. it's saying. Just double check my email to make sure. Looks like we're getting a bit of a drop in NVIDIA right now, right in the after hours. Do. That's my jam. Okay, if you have a Q4 opt emails, reminder, webcast link. Let's go in here and see if they got anything for us. Yeah, we're just waiting. Thank you for registering. Nothing yet. I ain't got nothing yet. Chat, nothing yet. Do. Yeah. Maybe what I should do is throw this up here so that way we can see the news come in together. The cheapest of all the AI stocks, says Bernstein Stancy Rasgon. Maybe we read some of this news just while we're here. NVIDIA is still the cheapest of all AI stocks, says Bernstein. Josh Brown, requisites Brian's Talkston, and Bernstein Stacy Regeson joins Closing Bell to discuss NVIDIA. No thanks. We'll watch it come out. Sector update. Talkstep slip late Wednesday afternoon. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index was down 0.3%. Goodness. In corporate news, NVIDIA is due to report quarterly earnings after the bell on Wednesday. Its shares were falling 3%. Sound Group SOGP shares surged 83% after the company said Wednesday it launched a new AI-backed application for the global market. If you guys are sleeping under a rock, let me be the first to tell you here. If you mention AI, or put it this way, if you don't mention AI, then not much is going to happen with your stock. You need to mention AI. It doesn't even matter what you do. You need to mention AI. Even if you haven't done anything with AI, you have to at least act like you're implementing it somehow, some way into your stock in order to get a buzz, you know? So get with the program, people. So yeah, Sound Group shares surged 83% after the company said it was launched new AI-backed applications for the global market. I bet if I looked up SOGP, all it is a super small float that's just getting pumped, and it's just going to take a crap, just like Bullfrog, just like many other many other stocks that came out all of a sudden said that they're working with AI. So yeah, it's just another name drop. In corporate news, NVIDIA is due to report quarterly earnings after the bell on Wednesday. Yeah. We got all that. We already know. We already been nosing. So, let's see here. Where's that drop? Where's the data drop, y'all? Let's take a little peeky gander here at chat. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can bring up this. Yeah, we're still looking good. We are still looking good. All right, now we're getting a little pump to the north side with NVDA. That's a big move right there. I mean, it's nothing too crazy. We're up almost 1% right now. Big pump. Big pop-up pump. You know how quick that these things can happen. These things can pull back just as fast. just as fast. This is going to be very, very volatile. U.S. benchmark equity indexes were lower ahead of Wednesday's close as investors parsed minutes from the Federal Reserve's latest monetary policy meeting and awaited the latest financial results from NVDA. The NASDAQ composite was down 0.7% at 15,525, while the S&P slipped to 0.1%, down to 4,969.2. The Dow Jones Industrial shed 0.2% to 38,485. Among sectors, technology and healthcare led the decliners, while energy paced the gainers. Yep, if energy's moving up and your technology is starting to pull back, then your cyclicals might pop up there as your consumer stocks might head higher, which might show that we're in for a bigger pullback, especially if Fed Powell has openly stated that he wants to pause rate hikes. People might not be going into these volatile stocks. How did MRUS close? I'll have to check that after I'm done streaming. Let the beat drop. Where's our drop? Where's our earnings drop, y'all? We're waiting. We're waiting to see. We know we get a nice little pump. People are expecting it to move higher, it looks like. At least these guys are. To me, it's a gamble. We don't buy or sell anything before earnings. I mean, unless you're already in it, then you're going to sell right before it happens. You don't want to be holding on to that crap. I think I'm gonna grab me a drink. You guys gotta keep an eye on this for me. Grab a drink. Let me grab a drink. Monster is not sponsoring this video, although I wish they were. They're making a heck of a lot more money. Let's see. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Where is our data drop? This thing is just bouncing back and forth 1%. Bouncing up, pulling back, bouncing up, pulling back. Where's my homies at? Where you at, Brian? With your sprinkles. Where you at, Adam? Come on. Let's go, baby. Let's get excited. We want to see this data drop. Let's see if we got any other hot news while we're waiting. Treasury yields rise while exchange traded funds and U.S. equities decline. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Healthcare becomes most overweighted sector as hedge funds crowned into Magnificent Seven. Crowd, not crown. U.S. market briefing. Fed policy makers worry it's risky to cut rates too soon. That's what I was just talking to you guys about. Federal Reserve policymakers thinks inflation could still stall on its way down, and most agree that it's too risky to cut rates too soon. That's according to the minutes of the Fed's January meeting, held, of course, before last week's hot CPI numbers. If you're not familiar with CPI numbers, if you're not familiar with what FOMC is, or the meetings of Jerome Powell If you're from a different country or state, you need to recognize who these people are in the United States, because that is what moves these markets. CPI, Consumers Price Index, and PPI, Producers Price Index, those things are what moves our markets. And Jerome Powell, when he looks at these datas and he says, nope, things are too expensive or things are too cheap, then we need to either raise or lower these. Rates. If you're raising rates, that means things are going to get more expensive. It's going to be harder for people to borrow and buy. So that being said, people are less likely to spend. You don't have a YouTube account? Yeah. Well, if you don't have a YouTube account, that's A-okay. Just hit that like button for me, Adam. Goodness gracious. Brother, what are you doing? No YouTube account. You're crazy, bro, but you know I still love you. Friend, entrepreneur, business partner, if you will, Adam, ladies and gentlemen. Adam doesn't have a YouTube account, but it still came here to support his buddy. And, of course, watch this data drop. We're just seeing this thing move up and down about 1%, back and forth, ladies and gentlemen. It looks absolutely scrumptious if you are a trader who likes to play these moves. You get a range trader in here, he's already made a couple $100 playing this range from 675 to 680. I mean, that's $5 moves. You just take a couple bucks here and there, and back and forth, but that is not the way I play. That is for the young men. I'm just an old man in these games. I'm 35, and I just cannot handle that type of volatility. That is for you youngins. So if you're here and you're making money, good for you, brother. I hope you continue to do so. Yep, we're just waiting on that data to drop. And then, of course, in about 45 minutes, we have the conference call coming out, which I can just show you my email here, Scoop-de-Poo. We already have it successfully registered. When they start talking, you will hear them as soon as I do. And obviously, YouTube's got about a 5-second delay, but you're not going to miss anything. The algorithms are going to take control long before you can hear and make a move. So I'm glad you're here today. I'm glad you're with me. Absolutely love doing this. I wish I had more time to stream. I would stream every stinking day like I used to. But, you know, we're here when we can. We do what we can, baby. And I'm here for you. And I'm glad you are here for me. So, we got so much going on when it comes to AI. I mean, I've subscribed to many, many things when it comes to AI just to keep up to date with it. I don't want to be that old guy like my grandparents where they go, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't know how to use a cell phone. I don't have a computer. I don't have, nope. I was one of the first to get VR. I was one of the first to, that when AI popped up, I was the first to get interested into this thing. Not the very first, of course. But I went to YouTube, just started learning all about it, started to understand what AI really is. You know, what do we consider AI? And AI can be anything. Eye tracking is AI. Anything that it can ingest more data and quicker than we can. And then, actually, let me just look up, because this is what confused me. Like, what is AI? Because really, when I was looking at a lot of these different places, what they would do is they would say, yeah, our AI machines and our AI this, our AI that. You know, when really it's like Snapchat AI, really? No, we've had these talking bots forever. Why are you considering it AI? So I had to actually do this before. What is AI? I just Googled it. Artificial intelligence is the ability of machines to think, learn, and act like humans. The goal of AI is to create machines that simulate human intelligence, including reasoning, problem solving, and creativity. So you have to be careful when you go into these things. And like we were just talking about earlier, sound. What was it? S-O-U-N. It said, you know, it's moving S-O-U-N-D. I know that's how you spell sound, but let's see here. Yeah, SOGP, sorry. Sound Group. SOGP shares surged 83% after the company said it was launching a new AI-backed application for the global market. Now, the AI-backed application can be something as simple as like a chat bot. Like, like Snapchat tried to do, right? So when you got to be careful when they say something like that. You don't just go all in, because it could be anything. Now, it can also be used in healthcare, though, so this is where it gets tricky. Preventative care and quality of life. It can enhance that. Produce more accurate diagnosis and treatments and plans. Okay, so now we're getting into a little bit more fashionable design, right? Like it's becoming more pinpoint. It can lead to better patient outcomes overall. So it can be used in healthcare for this stuff, so they can just consider that AI. AI can also be used to create new content and ideas, right? Including conversation, story, images, videos, and music. So when it comes to like AI, it can be a whole group. It can be a whole group of things. Now, why is NVIDIA so deep inside of AI? Well, because they sell the chips for this stuff, guys. They have the chips for the computing, the processing, all that good stuff. So, but there's 4 types of AIs, what I'm reading here: self-awareness, limited memory, deep learning, narrow intelligence, general intelligence, super intelligence, right? So those are all the different types of AI that are out there. A lot of times, you know, the deep learning is what we're seeing a lot of right now. A machine, you know, that you type in something, it can scour the internet, understand what pictures and images you're looking for, throw those together. They're making videos now. I mean, it really is just becoming absolutely amazing when it comes to AI. Now, NVIDIA is a huge leader in this because it sells the chips for the AI, you know. And when it sells the chips for the AI and everybody's trying to jump on board and you're selling the proper chips for this, well, then you're doing something right. And it has been a leader in this market for an absolutely long time now. Well before this 500 took off, this NVIDIA has been doing a very great job off of these October lows here. October 13th, it looks like, was its bottom, and it held up. You can see it played the market. Just as the market moved up, this moved up. But this is the key area right here. Back here on the earnings back in 5/24/23, this is when it just went skyrocket because AI started to get hot, and then their earnings came out, and it wasn't just their earnings that proved, but it was everything else. It was their guidance, everything. They have a lot of attention. Now, I remember here, their biggest issue, and we talked about this. We talked about this. Joshi! Yes! What's up? It's good to see ya. I haven't seen you in a while. NVIDIA pending buy target 745. Very nice. May take some time. Yeah. I'm doing very well, Joshi. It's really good to see you in here. I was really hoping to get to chat with you. You know, I'd like to share with you my my information, Joshi. So there's got to be some way I can you know what? Let me give you. I don't know if you use Discord or not. Maybe I should give you my Discord here, and that way you can reach out to me. Let me see if I can do this. I'll give you the LoFiTrader Discord, and maybe you can pop in here and we can talk, shoot the crap for a little bit, Joshi. But it's good to see you. Yeah, NVIDIA is absolutely killing it. It's an amazing leader, you know. And if you guys haven't, if you've been under a rock, SMCI has been doing absolutely crazy moves. And you know, I had a buddy. I always like to talk about my buddy who got into this thing. He got in at 500. He got in at 700 and wanted to hold on to this thing until he died. At least when it got up to 1,000, I said, dude, what is your game plan with this thing? It's gone parabolic. It has gone parabolic. And guys, I know I'm getting a little off subject of NVIDIA, but don't worry. I am keeping my eye on the market to make sure if we get the news drop, we're going to know it, because this thing's going to move one way or the other, and I will give you the information the second it comes up. And the second I get the cue for earnings and they start talking about it, which should be in about 40 minutes, we will see that pop up here, and you will hear them, and I will keep my mouth shut. So SMCI, when that thing went up to 1,000, it went absolutely parabolic. If you don't know what parabolic is, look it up. It's basically straight up on a multi-billion-dollar company, billion-dollar market cap company, okay? And when this thing went straight up like it did, I asked him, what's your game plan? His game plan was, well, I'm just going to buy and hold until next earnings. Well, that was his game plan until we got the pullback. So, Joshi, you don't have Discord. How are we going to be able to chitty chat with each other? Maybe I can just send you my email in here. Hopefully it doesn't get taken. There you go. Here you go. That's my email. Go ahead and take that down, and then I'm going to remove it from the chat, so that way we don't get a bunch of people spamming me stuff. That way we can chat very soon. So anyway, back to the story. SMCI goes absolutely parabolic. I said, hey, announces financial results for fourth quarter and fiscal 4. Here it is, guys. All right, we're getting a push up here, and I'll try and read this. Record quarterly revenue of $22.1 billion, up 22% from Q3, up to 265% from a year ago, and we are getting a huge move. It looks like we got a 3% push, and it's pulling back a little bit from here, pulling right back down, guys. Let me continue reading this as you keep an eye on the actual markets. I'll zoom in on this for you so you can get a better look while I read this to you. Record quarterly data revenue of $18.4 billion, up 27% from Q3, up 409% from a year ago, and record full year revenue of $60.9 billion, up 126%. Santa Clara Clay, February 21st, 2024, Global Newswire. NVDA today reports revenue for the fourth quarter ending January 28th, 2024 of $22.1 billion, up 22% from the previous quarter, up 265% from a year ago. Now it looks like we're getting a big drop, so we had a small push, and now it's pulling back big time, and we talked about this right before this happened, guys. Even if we get good earnings, even if everything looks well, this could be the sell catalyst here. It could still look like it's pulling back big time here. It's down to $646. We closed at $675, so it is pulled back a gargantuous amount. Let's just take a little peek from opening. We're down almost 5% here. We might see a nice area of resistance. Let's take a look at the daily chart here, guys. We've pulled all the way back down here. The resistance area looks like it's going to be 625 here. So let's continue reading and see what else we have. So the consensus here, let's see, change of 16%. Yeah, we still have time on that though, guys. They're already trying to put their analyst consensus out for how much per share. Let's see, Q4 data revenue at $18.4 billion versus Visible Alpha analyst consists of $17.3 billion. Gaming revenue at $2.9 billion versus the consensus of $2.72. So a little bit of a beat. Let's see, NVIDIA sees Q1 2025 GAAP at $3.5 billion. Sees non-GAAP operating expenses at $2.5 billion. So it looks like it's given its future analytics there. So things look great. Okay, I see your Gmail there. Let me go ahead and write that down, and then we can erase those. So SANIOJOSHI79 Gmail. All right, I will mail you. Good to see you. Goodbye. Take care. Yeah, it's good seeing you too, brother. Thank you so much for swinging by. Very, very happy to see you. But yeah, guys, so we're getting some volatility here, guys. It's pouncing back and forth. I mean, it's gonna slam everybody in and out of this thing. It's absolutely beautiful move. This is why we come here to watch this move. I mean, when you see a 5% move like this, and it shot up to 693.50, pulled all the way back to 645. Huge range on this. We're talking a 7.5% range that we just witnessed there within 1 minute. 1 minute. That can be absolutely devastating or make or break your account. It can be absolute clear mindset for you if you are a range trader in this situation. So absolutely beautiful. Love to see it. So on the daily here, we are just sitting in between the 10 and 21 day moving average in this area here. So nothing too crazy, but it looks like it's popping back up. We're back up to 680, 677, roughly in that area. So where is this going to cool down? B. Stewie, what is going on, B. Stewie? I know you like to do the paper trading, brother. Do you have NVIDIA currently? Are you a NVIDIA holder, or did you sell everything? Talk to me. How are you doing? Sprankles. That's good. I wish these guys would just, I wish they would just pay me. You know? I wish Monster Rehab would just say, you know what? You do such a darn good job. We're in all these sports. We're in all these crazy sports. We want to get into the financial realm. Let's go ahead and sponsor you. We'll just send you a ton of monsters. You keep on Sip Shawana in all the way through each one of these earnings, and you know, we're gonna pay you a huge lump sum so you can just quit your job. Just quit your job, and you come do exactly what you love to do each and every stinking day, and that is talk. Talk finances, talk to your friends, and watch these amazing moves in the market like we're seeing here today. 7% up and down, whipsaw action right here. Where will NVIDIA land? I'm guessing somewhere where we started. You know, 7%. 7% from the top, pulling back. 6% moving back up, pulling back down to VWAP now. We're going to see what the expected future holds for NVIDIA when it comes out, when the earnings, when they start shitty chatting in the earnings call. So, and I will be here. I will be here for you, so that way we can listen to everything. Sold. Yeah, I gotcha. What price did you sell at, B. Stewie? Just out of curiosity. I'll tell you right now, you know, for as much crap as I talked for NVIDIA about this 500 level, I mean, you guys heard me. If you have ever been a part of this channel, I talked over and over and over again about this dang 500 level. I only had 20 shares at this, and I think I sold most of them at 545. So I'm still learning here too. You know, like, if I had so much conviction and I waited so stinking long for this, why am I only making a small penny on this? This should have been an absolute hold, a position trade. I should still be holding this thing, honestly, you know, but, you know, I took it out piece by piece, and now that I met my good friend Adam, we actually have some amazing new buy and sell rules. And if I could have just met this dude a couple weeks before, I mean, literally, I met him just a couple weeks after we ended up finding our perfect buy and sell rules. Now, if I had what my sell rules are now, which is at these key breakout areas or these trend break areas, where would I have sold? Right here. I would have sold right here. I would have sold my first piece at 1R, and then I would be holding my last piece. And if you don't know what 1R is, guys, it's R multiples. R multiples, if you don't play by R multiples, I really suggest you look into it. R multiples meaning if I'm risking $50, that means if I'm getting out half, I'm taking out 25 at my first R multiple, okay? And then that last R multiple, that $25 that I'm still up, can just keep moving higher, okay? And those R multiples are good to go by because everybody risks something different. Bo Hype, hi LoFiTrader, you're amazing and I love your content. Well, thank you very much. AI cryptocurrency, RNDR, could change the world forever. Wow, I don't know. And could have limitless potential to build wealth. You're amazing, by the way. Well, look, I don't like to get into crypto too much or try to do shout outs when it comes to specific tickers. I'm glad you think that. I do appreciate the compliment, but you know, I don't know about all that. When it comes to any kind of cryptocurrency or any hype on AI that isn't already well established. So it needs to show me proof of concept first and foremost. Now, speaking of proof of concept, NVIDIA has shown much proof of concept, now shooting up to 703, 704.94. The market seems to like what they see when it comes to this revenue and its guidance for GAAP. Look at this, 707. This thing is ramping up in style now, guys. Ramping up in style. Back up to the 10-day moving average and now bonking its head at 708. No, it's going to keep on pushing higher. Absolutely beautiful. You got to love to see this, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir, Bob. I'm just going to check my Gmail and make sure we didn't get any new alerts, even though we are still waiting another 30 minutes for the conference call to come out. I just want to make sure that we stay up to date, and we are here first, baby. I want to be here first for you. So far, nothing's going on. We're waiting on the conference call. No big deal. But NVIDIA, it doesn't want to wait. It's ready to go. 714. This thing is just ramping up, looking absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. We might see new highs today, guys. The highs right now currently for NVIDIA are 746.11. 746.11 for NVIDIA. That's absolutely amazing to see. So I'm glad you're here with me. I'm glad you're here with me so we can see this happen together. Absolutely amazing, guys. So 720. Wow, what a move, guys. We're right up to just 3 days ago. 3 days ago it was sitting up here. Just 3 days ago. That's absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's do this. Bada bing, bada boom. Looking amazing. Pulling back to 718 now. We're going to see what this... Where is this actually going to land? Do we have any guesses in the live? We have any guesses where this is going to be? So, B. Stewie said he sold at 674.75. That's absolutely amazing. Where was your take, though, B. Stewie? Did you pull that with me at 500? Did you buy that at 500 with me? And then hold for an absolute epic move? Because if you bought at the same time I did at 500 and held on to that thing to 674, that would have been a, let's see, 33% move, which I'm telling you, if you're getting 10% a day or 10% a move, that's absolutely amazing. But if you're getting a 33% move on your account, I mean, you're kicking ass. You're kicking ass, you're taking names, and you got to absolutely love that. I think I need glasses. I'm having a hard time seeing. Let's see here. Look at this, 715.07, ramping up in style. This looks absolutely amazing, guys. No fear of missing out from me right now. We're going to keep on keeping on. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and take a look at my screen. This looks absolutely great. Oh, hang on. We don't want to mess this up too bad. We'll keep that up on screen there. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at this right here, guys. If you look at this, go ahead and smash that like button for me. It helps me out tremendously. And if you feel so inclined, click that subscribe button. We don't do this every day, but if you're here with us now and you like the content, hit that subscribe button because I like to do this from time to time. It is a guilty, excuse me, a guilty pleasure. Here we go, 718 NVIDIA right now. And don't worry, guys, when the conference call comes out, I will keep my loud trap shut and we will hear everything that they have to say. I can hear my little mister in the background. I hope he comes out here to say hi. That's some good stuff. That is some good stuff, guys. 719.16. What a move. What a move. Let's see. So I'm going to guess 7%. Almost 7%. We're at 7%. So 7% from the open, or I'm sorry, from the close. NVIDIA has ramped up 7% to its highs right now. 7% move. That's absolutely amazing, especially because its average daily range is only 3.5%. So if you're seeing a 7% move in a 3.5 ADR stock, you know it's very volatile. There's a lot of eyes on it. AI is hot. AI is the new hot mama. Everybody wants to know what's going on with AI, baby. I know I do. I like to keep my eye on it. I like to know what's going on. So, yeah, that SMCI though, man. So after it went parabolic, and my buddy, I said, what's your, and after everything happened, yeah, before the earnings came out, they interrupted us, which is A-okay. Earnings is allowed to do that. But after SMCI went parabolic, and my buddy, he gets in this thing at 500, he gets in it at 700, and it goes absolutely parabolic, and it breaks through 1,000. Going parabolic, it breaks through 1,000. I said to him, what is your game plan exactly? You know, and I told him about when things go parabolic. I said, you got to understand, when things go parabolic, there's only two things that can happen. It's going to continue going parabolic, or it's going to crash right back down. As fast as that went parabolic, it's going to crash down. And he said, yeah, well, my game plan is once we get the inevitable pullback, I'm going to add more into it until we got that pullback. Once we got that pullback, his whole mindset changed, and he started putting in his stop order losses, and he ended up getting out at like 800. So he made a pretty penny. He made some good money. But man, I wanted to, you know, you can't tell people when to buy or when to sell, which you shouldn't. You should never tell anybody when to buy or sell, because then they're going to blame you for it. So I would never tell anybody when to buy or sell. I just like to communicate properly and tell people like, hey, this is parabolic. What's your game plan? I want to hear your game plan. And when it did go parabolic, I asked him what his game plan was, and his game plan changed when things started to pull back. So how much loss can you ingest? You know, what is your actual risk out there? So if you're in 100 shares on something and you see your account fly up a couple $1,000, $10,000, $20,000, depending on what level you're at currently, and you're sitting on that high horse, you know, when the next day you lose $100, $1,000, or $10,000, how are you going to be able to handle that? Are you really going to add more into that trade? What is your real game plan? And you should always have a game plan when you're trading this. And here's the thing, guys. If you have a game plan, you have to stick to it. My buddy Adam will tell you, and so will I. It's like, hey, you don't exit the game plan. If you got a game plan, you need to stick with that game plan. You have to stick with the game plan, because if you deter from the game plan, things can go awry very quickly. Well, I've seen it many times. You know, for an example, that 500 breakout. If I had a better game plan, and I would have said, yeah, the 10-day moving average is my game plan, I would have had a lot more money on this trade, a lot more money. Not just thinking, oh, well, it's up, you know, it's up too high, it's gonna pull back, down to the 500 and retest. That's really what I thought. I figured it's gonna come back to the 500, it's gonna retest. You know, and, you know, sure enough, if I would have just waited, followed my game plan, which that is what it is now, it's not what my game plan was then, I'd have had a lot more money. So I really wish I would have met Adam a little sooner, because I would be up a lot more money on this trade. But you can't win them all, can you? So let's just see if NVIDIA did move SMCI, and it did. If you guys take a look at that, it looks like it's following NVIDIA right now. So NVIDIA is clearly the leader, guys. It is clearly the stinking leader. Why do I say that? Because NVIDIA has earnings, NVIDIA pulls back, NVIDIA shoots up, and what's following it? SMCI. So the same stock that was very volatile and still is very volatile, one of the most volatile stocks out there, okay, is following NVIDIA. So we had this huge catch-up day. Now it's following NVIDIA. Maybe it continues to follow NVIDIA. But I'm telling you, NVIDIA is the key leader here. It's very obvious. I don't care how much attention one stock gets over the other. If SMCI is following what NVIDIA does, NVIDIA is the leader here. Okay, so keep that in mind, guys. NVIDIA is still our leader, even though SMCI did what it did in a day. NVIDIA is still our leader here. Let's see what AMD is doing now in the after hours. Look, isn't that funny? AMD looks exactly like NVIDIA, right? Same stinking chart. If you look at NVIDIA right here in this portion of your screen right here, guys, you'll see sideways action, a small pop up, a drop, and then a ramp up to 718. We look at AMD, what do we see? Sideways, small pop up, drop, and then a ramp up, right? And then SMCI, same thing, all based on NVDA's earnings. All right, so we know what our leader is. And you need to always know what your leaders are, guys, because we want to trade the leaders. We don't want to be in the laggers. We want to trade the leaders. Now, it's okay, obviously, to trade the laggers if it forms your type of setup. Personally, my setup are trend breaks. So I personally, I was hoping to see this kind of break a little bit lower, trade sideways, so I could have played a trend break, but NVIDIA is not doing that right now, so it's A-okay. Let's see what my boys, yeah, so thank you, Adam. And ARM, of course, ARM is doing the same exact thing. ARM does look just a slight bit difference here. It did have a pop up, a drop, and then a ramp higher. It does look just a little bit different, but it is doing the same stinking thing. Thank you, Adam, for bringing that up. And right here's the trend. If you guys want to look at this on the hourly, this is my type of play here. I like it more on the daily, okay? But this break right here, it did alert me. It did go off. Here's what it looks like on the daily. But I have to wait for a new higher low, which it's given to us now. This is going to be the new higher low if it holds, but now it's outside of my range for a proper risk reward buy, okay? But that's just what I'm seeing. But today is all about NVIDIA, because NVIDIA is doing glorious things right now. If we look at the hourly, guys, you can see just how quick it's caught back up to its resistance area. Why do I say it's the resistance? Well, if we just look at this area, you can clearly see from here to here is going to be its resistance area, okay? This is where it's traded before. This is its VWAP most sold and most bought area, okay? And now we're right up into it. We touch this area, and now it's pulling back. So will NVIDIA pull back from here? I'm almost willing to take a short on this to see it pull back, but I'm not going to play earnings. I'm not going to play this, but, you know, me personally, I think with everything that's going on with the news, with the FOMC meetings, with the rate pauses, we're not going to see those rate hikes, or I'm sorry, rate cuts now for another couple of months. I do have a feeling that we're going to see a pullback from this resistance area. Now, I could be wrong. Obviously, these aren't buy or sell recommendations, but I could definitely see that happening. You know, I'm almost willing to take a small bet that this resistance area is going to continue to be resistance, and we're going to see a pullback. Now, it's hard saying that, especially when you get news like this. I mean, what a crazy good news, guys. And if you haven't heard it yet already, I'll just read it to you again. They have record quarterly revenue of $22.1 billion, up 22% from Q3. 22% quarterly revenue income from Q3. That's up 265% from a year ago. That's absolutely bonkers, guys. That's bonkers. For a multi-billion-dollar market cap like this, that's absolutely bonkers, okay? Record quarterly data center revenue. It's of $18.4 billion. It's up 27% from Q3. That's a crazy number. That's a crazy number, okay? Because if each Q1, Q2, Q3, they're going up 25%, they're doubling their company each year, guys. They have a record full year revenue of $60.9 billion. That is absolutely just nuts, guys. Nuts. So it's doing really well, but at the same time, I am a technical trader. So when I see it bounce right into here, into resistance, and we've already failed from this area, and now we're bouncing back up into that resistance area, I see this thing getting sold off again, okay? I see institutional ownership selling off into this. Now again, I could be wrong. These aren't buy or sell recommendations, but that's what I see right now as a technical trader. We see this thing move up and not want to push higher. This right here is its high, right? If this thing wanted to move higher, it would have already. 746.11, and every time it came up, sold off, came up, sold off, came up, sold off, came up, sold off. That's 4 times. 4 times it's tried to push through here, and it has not. It actually went lower. So now support is now resistance, and you can see that right here, right now, right in front of your eyes. It's trading at 716.05 with record quarterly, record data, and full year revenue, all records being broke here. It had a beautiful move to the north side after closing. We're up over 7%, guys, after closing. Looks absolutely amazing for NVDA. So congratulations to you. If you held, please make sure you stick to your plan. make sure that you know your way in this market. Now, it looks like we have about 15 minutes, guys, 15 minutes until we are getting the conference call out. So if you have anything that you want to talk about, let me know in the chat, let me know in Discord, and we will talk about it. I don't mind bringing up some other stocks if you would like to, but we would have to do them quick. So B Stewie, if you got anything for me, you're more than welcome to throw that in the chat. I'd be happy to take a look. B Stewie, by the way, let's just see if we can show you this bad baby right here. I don't know if you can see it again. I gotta bring my live up to date here. But look at this bad baby. Oh yeah, we're the bulls, baby. We're the bulls, baby. But you know me, I'm a bear with bull horns. You just got to know which way it's going to go, right? And if you don't, that's okay. You can change on a whim, on a dime. Okay, here we go. It's bouncing, pushing back up to 720 here. I mean, this looks absolutely beautiful. We'll move back into the 1 minute so we can actually see what's going on here, guys. But we can see that we're into this resistance area. It's looking really good in this area, guys. It's looking really, really nice. And we'll just zoom in a little bit better so we can get a better idea of what's going on. But yeah, it's pushing up into this resistance area. Very nice. Again, the high is going to be 746.11 is its high. So maybe I just mark this out so we know right where this high is. 746. That's a little bit higher than where it's at. 746.11. That's close enough right there. So this red line up at the top here is going to be the peak of our all-time highs, and all this gray matter that you see here is going to be its resistance area. Okay, the higher we push to that resistance area on higher volume, the better it's going to look for a new high, for a new target, a new higher high in NVIDIA. So record to beat is 746.11. Will it do it? We will find out. All we need is them to say the right things. Let's hear them say. So the last time we talked, their biggest issue, guys, was selling to China. Selling to China. The government was putting stipulations on how they could sell to China. They didn't want them selling to China, so they put certain stipulations on different types of chips that they were not allowing them to sell to China. So if they do that, it's one of those things. If they do that, that's going to be a big issue, because China was a huge percent in their sales. They had very, very high percentage into their sales. So keep that in mind as well. So while we're listening, and we'll just do a double check. Oh, here we go. It looks like we can get in here now. Let me turn on the sound. All right. So let me just make sure I'm going to turn this on the TV over there. So we got this this pretty little screen right here for the earnings call. It's a beautiful thing. And so what this is going to do, we're going to switch the sound settings. Let's see, speakers, grant permission. Use your microphone. Okay, so we're gonna put this through. All right, there we go. So then I will turn off my sound. All right. All right. I just want to make sure when they pop on, you guys will be able to hear it the best. And it looks like that's going to be the best way to do it there. So there we go. We have it all ready and set. We have over here on the top right, we have our resistance areas. So we know exactly where our NVIDIA, where we want to see, so we can keep an eye on the volatility. We have the Q4 earnings call ready to go. We're just waiting for them to pop on and start talking to us and let us know what they know, what they want to tell us about their future earnings. And we will hear exactly what they want to tell us. So Hell yeah. Let me just go ahead and bring this up here. Perfect. So this should be popping up in about 10 minutes here, guys. The Q4 2024 earnings call for NVIDIA will be starting in about 10 minutes. I hope you're pumped. If it's your first time listening to an earnings call, you can expect for them to go over what we've already learned about their revenue, about their all the news that we talked about how you know, they came out with all of this amazing news when it comes to their let me just find it here so I'm not bullshitting you. Let's see. The fourth quarter physical, their record quarterly data, revenue, and their full year revenue. So they're going to go over that first, usually. They're going to go over some of their difficulties, and then they're going to go over what they're seeing in the formidable future. Okay, they're going to go over all of that, and as they go over all that, you're going to see some volatility in this market. And if they say something very just stay tuned, because if they say something about, you know, more restrictions to their chips or things that they couldn't overcome, because they disclose, they don't hide this stuff, because when they're doing these things, especially multi-billion-dollar market cap companies, they want to disclose and be as clear cut as they can to their shareholders. They want to be as clear cut as they can, because they don't want their shareholders feeling like they're being lied to. Okay, so we're gonna see. It's gonna be very volatile, and once they start chit chatting, you're not gonna hear from me. You're gonna hear all from them, and you're gonna love it, or else. So this one's for me, not for you. I'm telling you. They need to start sponsoring me as much as I drink Monster. Yeah, I switch back and forth. Sometimes it's coffee. Oh yeah. That a boy. Oh, look at. What up, Paul? I just got this message from my father-in-law. He's got me up on his you know, them golf screens when you go out there and you play golf. He's got a big golf screen out there, and he's got me up on his golf screen, on his golf screen in the back, streaming my thing live in the background. He sent me a picture of it, and that's amazing. That's amazing. Just when you don't think my head could get any bigger, you see it on a screen like this. You know what I mean? There's a big old noggin up there, huh? Yeah. So yeah, NVIDIA, baby. Absolutely amazing when you see these record quarterly revenue earnings of $22.1 billion. That's up 22% from just the last quarter. 22%. That's absolutely amazing. When we look at NVIDIA's their earnings, I mean, you can see on this chart right here, you can see this thing ramping up. It's absolutely amazing to see this do this. Like look at this performance. Okay, this is the annual, this is the yearly. But if you look at the quarterly here, you can see this is the revenue bar. And right here, this x-axis here, okay, this x-axis is showing in billions, okay? So we're talking in Q3, it was 5.93 billion all the way back here, okay? Now, this year's Q3 revenue, 18.12 billion. That's absolutely amazing, right? And now that's quarterly. Annually, we're talking in 2018, 11.72 billion, and now in 2022, 26.97 billion. From a company with a market capitalization of 1.67 trillion. Yes, that's right, trillion, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? We're seeing trillion-dollar market caps now. Okay? I'm pretty sure it passed up like Apple. Let's see, what is Apple's? Apple's market cap is 2.82 trillion. So no, I was wrong there. What about Microsoft? I think Microsoft is the highest now. MSoft. So Microsoft is 2.99 trillion. So I think they've got, yeah. So right now Microsoft is the highest. So it's looking like it's Microsoft, Apple, then NVIDIA. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we're talking about the biggest market capitalizations moving 7%. You've seen it here, ladies and gentlemen. 7% from its close to where it's sitting at right now at $731.63. That's crazy. That's crazy, and I'm glad I could be here to share that with you guys today. So cheers to you, cheers to me, and congratulations, NVIDIA, on another killer fourth quarter. So now we are just waiting. We got about 5 minutes, and that's when the NVIDIA Q4 earnings call should be popping up here. When you hear them, I'm going to hear them, and I will keep my loud trap shut so we can really dive deep into what they're saying. Oh, that's good stuff. Oh, yeah. Today was actually a really boring day in the market. There wasn't too much going on in the market. We just I kind of just got everything ready for the weekend, for the upcoming events in my life. And got everything ready, you know. Got my hair did, got my nails did. I didn't really do that, but pretty close to it. Clipped them, so they're looking good. Went and grabbed a bite to eat. Yeah, I treated myself. Got some boneless buffalo wings today. A couple of drinks. It's delicious, and nutritious. Now all I got to do is hit the gym. But not until after NVIDIA's Q4 earnings call. I'm pumped about this. I don't know. Is this your first Q4 earnings call? If this is the first time, well, maybe not Q4. It might be your first Q4. But is this your first earnings call? If this is your first one, let me know. There's plenty for them to talk about, especially these record quarterly revenue, record quarterly data, record full year revenue. I guarantee they're just as excited as I am to tell their shareholders exactly what they're seeing. They're excited to pop on here at 5 o'clock. Just 3 minutes now, guys. 3 minutes for the Q4 earnings call. NVIDIA, that's what we're here for. It's their big day. It's their birthday. They can cry if they want to, but I think it's more of a war cry than anything, the way their earnings have been fully justified. They, I mean, how are analysts going to tell you that they're going to blow it out of the water and then they blow the analysts out of the water? Like, I mean, it's just crazy. So, NVIDIA 4Q adjusted EP earnings per share EPS 5.16. Wow. Greater than 5.16 per share. Wow. 22.1 billion. EPS 4.93, then it came out 5.16. Announcers press release. What is this? Lease liabilities. Guys, we're pressing to all-time highs right now on NVIDIA. We are pressing into all-time highs right now in NVIDIA. Absolutely amazing. Let me see if I can't hop on this. Sorry about that. Don't mean to blind you. Let's hop on this here. All right. Should be starting here in 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Uno momento. Here we go. Here we go. What's that? Nope. The conference call is actually getting ready to start right now. And NVIDIA has almost hit all-time highs. So it's looking really good. This is crazy.
Good afternoon.
There we go.
I'll be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to the NVIDIA's fourth quarter earnings call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, press star 1 again. Thank you. Simona Jankowski, you may begin your conference.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NVIDIA's conference call for the fourth quarter in fiscal 2024. With me today from NVIDIA are Jensen Huang, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Colette Kress, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. I'd like to remind you that our call is being webcast live on NVIDIA's Investor Relations website. The webcast will be available for replay until the conference call to discuss our financial results for the first quarter of fiscal 2025. The content of today's call is NVIDIA's property. It can be reproduced or transcribed without our prior written consent. During this call, we may make forward-looking statements based on current expectations. These are subject to a number of significant risks and uncertainties, and our actual results may differ materially. For a discussion of factors that could affect our future financial results and business, please refer to the disclosure in today's earnings release, our most recent Forms 10-K and 10-Q, and the reports that we may file on Form 8-K with the Securities and Exchange Commission. All our statements are made as of today, February 21st, 2024, based on information currently available to us. Except as required by law, we assume no obligation to update any such statements. During this call, we will discuss non-GAAP financial measures. You can find a reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to GAAP financial measures in our CFO commentary, which is posted on our website. With that, let me turn the call over to Colette.
Thanks, Simona. Q4 was another record quarter. Revenue of $22.1 billion was up 22% sequentially and up 265% year-on-year, and well above our outlook of $20 billion. For fiscal 2024, revenue was $60.9 billion and up 126% from the prior year. Starting with data center. Data center revenue for the fiscal 2024 year was $47.5 billion, more than tripling from the prior year.
Tripling?
The world has reached the tipping point of new computing era. The trillion-dollar installed base of data center infrastructure is rapidly transitioning from general purpose to accelerated computing. As Moore's law slows while computing demand continues to skyrocket, companies may accelerate every workload possible to drive future improvements in performance, TCO, and energy efficiency. At the same time, companies have started to build the next generation of modern data centers, what we refer to as AI factories, purpose-built to refine raw data and produce valuable intelligence in the era of generative AI. In the fourth quarter, data center revenue of $18.4 billion was a record, up 27% sequentially and up 409% year-on-year, driven by the NVIDIA Hopper GPU computing platform, along with InfiniBand end-to-end networking. Compute revenue grew more than 5x, and networking revenue tripled from last year. We are delighted that supply of Hopper architecture products is improving. Demand for Hopper remains very strong. We expect our next generation products to be supply constrained as demand far exceeds supply. Fourth quarter data center growth was driven by both training and inference of generative AI and large language models across a broad set of industries, use cases, and regions. The versatility and performance of our data center platform enables a high return on investment for many use cases, including AI training and inference, data processing, and a broad range of CUDA-accelerated workloads. We estimate in the past year approximately 40% of data center revenue was for AI inference. Building and deploying AI solutions has reached virtually every industry. Many companies across industries are training and operating their AI models and services at scale. Enterprises across NVIDIA AI infrastructure through cloud providers, including hyperscales, GPU specialized, and private clouds, or on-premise. NVIDIA's computing stack extends seamlessly across cloud and on-premise environments, allowing customers to deploy with a multi-cloud or hybrid cloud strategy. In the fourth quarter, large cloud providers represented more than half of our data center revenue, supporting both internal workloads and external public cloud customers. Microsoft recently noted that more than 50,000 organizations use GitHub Copilot Business to supercharge the productivity of their developers, contributing to GitHub revenue growth accelerating to 40% year on year. And Copilot for Microsoft 365 adoption grew faster in its first 2 months than the 2 previous major Microsoft 365 Enterprise Suite releases did. Consumer internet companies have been early adopters of AI and represent one of our largest customer categories. Companies from search to e-commerce, social media, news and video services, and entertainment are using AI for deep learning-based recommendation systems. These AI investments are generating a strong return by improving customer engagement, ad conversation, and click-through rates. Meta, in its latest quarter, cited more accurate predictions and improved advertiser performance as contributing to the significant acceleration in its revenue. In addition, consumer internet companies are investing in generative AI to support content creators, advertisers, and customers through automation tools for content and ad creation, online product descriptions, and AI shopping assistance. Enterprise software companies are applying generative AI to help customers realize productivity gains. Early customers we've partnered with for both training and inference of generative AI are already seeing notable commercial success. ServiceNow's generative AI products in their latest quarter drove their largest ever net new annual contract value contribution of any new product family release. We are working with many other leading AI and enterprise software platforms as well, including Adobe, Databricks, Getty Images, SAP, and Snowflake. The field of foundation large language models is thriving. Anthropic, Google, Inflection, Microsoft, OpenAI, and xAI are leading with continued amazing breakthroughs in generative AI. Exciting companies like Adept, AI21, Character AI, Cohere, Mistral, Perplexity, and Runway are building platforms to serve enterprises and creators. New startups are creating LLMs to serve the specific languages, cultures, and customs of the world's many regions. And others are creating foundation models to address entirely different industries, like recursion, pharmaceuticals, and generative biomedicine or biology. These companies are driving demand for NVIDIA AI infrastructure through hyperscale or GPU specialized cloud providers. Just this morning, we announced that we collaborated with Google to optimize its state-of-the-art new Gemma language models to accelerate their inference performance on NVIDIA GPUs in the cloud, data center, and PC. One of the most notable trends over the past year is the significant adoption of AI by enterprises across the industry verticals, such as automotive, healthcare, and financial services. NVIDIA offers multiple application frameworks to help companies adopt AI in vertical domains such as autonomous driving, drug discovery, low latency machine learning for fraud detection, or robotics, leveraging our full stack accelerated computing platform. We estimate that data center revenue contribution of the automotive vertical through the cloud or on-prem exceeded $1 billion last year. NVIDIA Drive infrastructure solutions include systems and software for the development of autonomous driving, including data ingestion, curation, labeling, and AI training, plus validation through simulation. Almost 80 vehicle manufacturers across global OEMs, new energy vehicles, trucking, robotaxi, and Tier 1 suppliers are using NVIDIA's AI infrastructure to train LLMs and other AI models for automated driving and AI cockpit applications. In effect, nearly every automotive company working on AI is working with NVIDIA. As AV algorithms move to video transformers and more cars are equipped with cameras, we expect NVIDIA's automotive data center processing demand to grow significantly. In healthcare, digital biology and generative AI are helping to reinvent drug discovery, surgery, medical imaging, and wearable devices. We have built deep domain expertise in healthcare over the past decade, creating the NVIDIA Clara healthcare platform and NVIDIA BioNeMo, a generative AI service to develop, customize, and deploy AI foundation models for computer-aided drug discovery. BioNeMo features a growing collection of pre-trained biomolecular AI models that can be applied to the end-to-end drug discovery processes. We announced Recursion is making available for the proprietary AI model through BioNeMo for the drug discovery ecosystem. In financial services, customers are using AI for a growing set of use cases, from trading and risk management to customer service and fraud detection. For example, American Express improved fraud detection accuracy by 6% using NVIDIA AI. Shifting to our data center revenue by geography, growth was strong across all regions except for China, where our data center revenue declined significantly following the U.S. government export control regulations imposed in October.
This is what we talked about before.
Although we have not received licenses from the U.S. government to ship restricted products to China, we have started shipping alternatives that don't require a license for the China market. China represented a mid-single-digit percentage of our data center revenue in Q4, and we expect it to stay in a similar range in the first quarter. In regions outside of the U.S. and China, sovereign AI has become an additional demand driver. Countries around the world are investing in AI infrastructure to support the building of large language models in their own language, on domestic data, and in support of their local research and enterprise ecosystems. From a product perspective, the vast majority of revenue was driven by our Hopper architecture, along with InfiniBand networking. Together, they have emerged as the de facto standard for accelerated computing and AI infrastructure. We are on track to ramp H200 with initial shipments in the second quarter. Demand is strong as H200 nearly doubles the inference performance of H100. Networking exceeded a $13 billion annualized revenue run rate. Our end-to-end networking solutions define modern AI data centers. Our quantum InfiniBand solutions grew more than 5x year on year. NVIDIA Quantum InfiniBand is the standard for the highest performance AI dedicated infrastructures. We are now entering the Ethernet networking space with the launch of our new Spectrum X end-to-end offering, designed for an AI optimized networking for the data center. Spectrum X introduces new technologies over Ethernet that are purpose-built for AI. Technologies incorporated in our Spectrum switch, Bluefield, CPU, and software stack deliver 1.6x higher networking performance for AI processing compared with traditional Ethernet. Leading OEMs, including Dell, HPE, Lenovo, and Supermicro, with their global sales channels, are partnering with us to expand our AI solution to enterprises worldwide. We are on track to ship Spectrum X this quarter. We also made great progress with our software and services offerings, which reached an annualized revenue run rate of $1 billion in Q4. We announced that NVIDIA DGX Cloud will expand its list of partners to include Amazon's AWS, joining Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, and Oracle Cloud. DGX Cloud is used for NVIDIA's own AI R&D and custom model development, as well as NVIDIA developers. It brings the CUDA ecosystem to NVIDIA CSP partners. Okay, moving to gaming. Gaming revenue was $2.87 billion, was flat sequentially and up 56% year-on-year. Better than our outlook on solid consumer demand for NVIDIA GeForce RTX GPUs during the holidays. Fiscal year revenue of $10.45 billion was up 15%. At CES, we announced our GeForce RTX 40 Super Series family of GPUs. Starting at $599, they deliver incredible gaming performance and generative AI capabilities. Sales are off to a great start. NVIDIA AI Tensor cores in the GPUs deliver up to 836 AI TOPS. Perfect for powering AI for gaming, creating, and everyday productivity. The rich software stack we offer with our RTX GPUs further accelerates AI. With our DLSS technology, 7 out of 8 pixels can be AI generated, resulting up to 4x faster ray tracing and better image quality. And with the Tensor RTLLM for Windows, our open source library that accelerates inference performance for the latest large language models, generative AI can run up to 5x faster on RTX AI PCs. At CES, we also announced a wave of new RTX 40 series AI laptops from every major OEM. These bring high-performance gaming and AI capabilities to a wide range of form factors, including 14-inch and thin and light laptops. With up to 686 TOPS of AI performance, these next-generation AI PCs increase generative AI performance by up to 60x, making them the best-performing AI PC platform. At CES, we announced NVIDIA Avatar Cloud Engine microservices, which allow developers to integrate state-of-the-art generative AI models into digital avatars. ACE won several Best of CES 2024 awards. NVIDIA has an end-to-end platform for building and deploying generative AI applications for RTX PCs and workstations. This includes libraries, SDKs, tools, and services developers can incorporate into their generative AI workflow. NVIDIA is fueling the next wave of generative AI applications coming to the PC. With over 100 million RTX PCs in the installed base and over 500 AI-enabled PC applications and games, we are on our way. Moving to Pro Visualization. Revenue of $463 million was up 11% sequentially and up 105% year-on-year. Fiscal year revenue of $1.55 billion was up 1%. Sequential growth in the quarter was driven by a rich mix of RTX Ada architecture GPUs continuing to ramp. Enterprises are refreshing their workstations to support generative AI-related workloads such as data preparation, LLM fine-tuning, and retrieval augmented generation. These key industrial verticals driving demand include manufacturing, automotive, and robotics. The automotive industry has also been an early adopter of NVIDIA Omniverse as it seeks to digitize workflows from design to build simulate, operate, and experience their factories and cars. At CES, we announced that creative partners and developers, including Brooklyn, WPP, and ZeroLight, are building Omniverse-powered car configurators. Leading automakers like Lotus are adopting the technology to bring new levels of personalization, realism, and interactivity to the car buying experience. Moving to automotive. Revenue was $281 million, up 8% sequentially and down 4% year-on-year. Fiscal year revenue of $1.09 billion was up 21%.
Sorry about that stream.
For the first time on continued adoption of the NVIDIA Drive platform by automakers. NVIDIA Drive Orin is the AI car computer of choice for software-defined AV fleets. Its successor, NVIDIA Drive 4, designed for vision transformers, offers more AI performance and integrates a wide range of intelligent capabilities into a single AI compute platform, including autonomous driving and parking, driver and passenger monitoring, and AI cockpit functionality, and will be available next year. There were several automotive customer announcements this quarter. Li Auto, Great Wall Motor, Zeekr, the premium EV subsidiary of Geely, and Xiaomi EV all announced new vehicles built on NVIDIA. Moving to the rest of the P&L. GAAP gross margins expanded sequentially to 76% and non-GAAP gross margins to 76.7% on strong data center growth and mix. Our gross margins in Q4 benefited from favorable component costs. Sequentially, GAAP operating expenses were up 6% and non-GAAP operating expenses were up 9%, primarily reflecting higher compute and infrastructure investments and employee growth. In Q4, we returned $2.8 billion to shareholders in the form of share repurchases and cash dividends. During fiscal year 24, we utilized cash of $9.9 billion towards shareholder returns, including $9.5 billion in share repurchases. Let me turn to the outlook for the first quarter. Total revenue is expected to be $24 billion, plus or minus 2%. We expect sequential growth in data center and ProViz, partially offset by seasonal decline in gaming. GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins are expected to be 76.3% and 77%, respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points. Similar to Q4, Q1 gross margins are benefiting from favorable component costs. Beyond Q1, for the remainder of the year, we expect gross margins to return to the mid-70s% range. GAAP and non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to be approximately $3.5 billion and $2.5 billion, respectively. Fiscal year 2025 GAAP and non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to grow in the mid-30% range as we continue to invest in the large opportunities ahead of us. GAAP and non-GAAP other income and expenses are expected to be an income of approximately $250 million, excluding gains and losses from non-affiliated investments. GAAP and non-GAAP tax rates are expected to be 17%, plus or minus 1%, excluding any discrete items. Further financial details are included in the CFO commentary and other information available on our IR website. In closing, let me highlight some upcoming events for the financial community. We will attend the Morgan Stanley Technology and Media and Telecom Conference in San Francisco on March 4th, and the TD Cowen's 44th Annual Healthcare Conference in Boston on March 5th. And of course, please join us for our annual GTC conference starting Monday, March 18th in San Jose, California, to be held in person for the first time in 5 years. GTC will kick off with Jensen's keynote, and we will host a Q&A session for financial analysts the next day, March 19th. Time, we are now open the call for questions. Operator, would you please poll for questions?
At this time, I would like to remind everyone, in order to ask a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. We'll pause for just a moment to compile the Q&A roster. As a reminder, please limit yourself to 1 question. Your first question comes from the line of Toshiya Hari from Goldman Sachs. Your line is open.
Hi, thank you so much for taking the question, and congratulations on the really strong results. My question is for Jensen on the data center business. Clearly, you're doing extremely well in the business. I'm curious how your expectations for calendar 24 and 25 have evolved over the past 90 days. And as you answer the question, I was hoping you can touch on, some of the newer buckets within data center, things like software, sovereign AI. I think you've been pretty vocal about how to think about that medium to long term. And recently there was an article about, NVIDIA potentially participating in the ASIC market. Is there any credence to that? And if so, how should we think about you guys playing in that market over the next several years? Thank you.
Thanks, Toshiya. Let's see. There were 3 questions. One more time. First question was...
Well, I guess your expectations for data center, how they've evolved. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Well, we guide 1 quarter at a time, but fundamentally the conditions are excellent for continued growth, calendar 24 to calendar 25 and beyond. And let me tell you why. We're at the beginning of 2 industry-wide transitions, and both of them are industry-wide. The first one is a transition from general to accelerated computing. General purpose computing, as you know, is starting to run out of steam, and you could tell by the CSPs extending, and many data centers, including our own for general purpose computing, extending the depreciation from 4 to 6 years. There's just no reason to update with more CPUs when you can't fundamentally and dramatically enhance its throughput like you used to. And so you have to accelerate everything. This is what NVIDIA's been pioneering for some time. And with accelerated computing, you can dramatically improve your energy efficiency. You can dramatically improve your cost in data processing by 20 to 1. Huge numbers. And of course, the speed. That speed is so incredible that we enabled a second industry-wide transition called generative AI. Generative AI, I'm sure we're going to talk plenty about it during the call, but remember, generative AI is a new application. It is enabling a new way of doing software, new types of software being created. It is a new way of computing. You can't do generative AI on traditional general purpose computing. You have to accelerate it. And the third is it is enabling a whole new industry. And this is something worthwhile to take a step back and look at, and it connects to your last question about sovereign AI. A whole new industry in the sense that for the very first time, a data center is not just about computing data and storing data and serving the employees of a company. We now have a new type of data center that is about AI generation, an AI generation factory. And you've heard me describe it as AI factories. But basically, it takes raw material, which is data, it transforms it with these AI supercomputers that NVIDIA builds, and it turns them into incredibly valuable tokens. These tokens are what people experience on the amazing ChatGPT or Midjourney or search these days are augmented by that. All of your recommender systems are now augmented by that. The hyper-personalization that goes along with it. All of these incredible startups in digital biology, generating proteins and generating chemicals, and the list goes on. And so all of these tokens are generated in a very specialized type of data center. And this data center we call AI supercomputers and AI generation factories. But we're seeing diversity. One of the other reasons, so at the foundation is that. The way it manifests into new markets is in all of the diversity that you're seeing us in. One, the amount of inference that we do is just off the charts now. Almost every single time you interact with ChatGPT, you know that we're inferencing. Every time you use Midjourney, we're inferencing. Every time you see amazing these Sora videos that are being generated, or Runway, the videos that they're editing, Firefly, NVIDIA is doing inferencing. The inference part of our business has grown tremendously. We estimate about 40%. The amount of training is continuing because these models are getting larger and larger. The amount of inference is increasing. But we're also diversifying into new industries. The large CSPs are still continuing to build out. You could see from their CapEx and their discussions. But there's a whole new category called GPU specialized CSPs. They specialize in NVIDIA AI infrastructure, GPU specialized CSPs. You're seeing enterprise software platforms deploying AI. ServiceNow is just a really, really great example. You see Adobe, you see others, SAP and others. You see consumer internet services that are now augmenting all of their services of the past with generative AI, so they can have even more hyper-personalized content to be created. You see us talking about industrial generative AI. Now our industries represent multi-billion-dollar businesses. Auto, health, financial services, in total, our vertical industries are multi-billion-dollar businesses now. And of course, sovereign AI. The reason for sovereign AI has to do with the fact that the language, the knowledge, the history, the culture of each region are different. And they own their own data. They would like to use their data, train it with to create their own digital intelligence, and provision it to harness that raw material themselves. It belongs to them. Each one of the regions around the world, the data belongs to them. The data is most useful to their society, and so they want to protect the data. They want to transform it themselves, value-added transformation into AI, and provision those services themselves. So we're seeing sovereign AI infrastructures being built in Japan, in Canada, in France, so many other regions, and so my expectation is that what is being experienced here in the United States, in the West, will surely be replicated around the world, and these AI generation factories are going to be in every industry, every company, every region. And so I think this last year we've seen generative AI really becoming a whole new application space, a whole new way of doing computing, a whole new industry is being formed, and that's driving our growth.
Your next question comes from the line of Joe Moore from Morgan Stanley. Your line is open.
Great, thank you. I wanted to follow up on the 40% of revenues coming from inference. That's a bigger number than I expected. Can you give us some sense of, where that number was, maybe the year before, how much you're seeing growth around LLMs from inference, and how are you measuring that? Is that, I assume it's in some cases the same GPUs you use for training and inference. How solid is that measurement? Thank you.
I'll go backwards. The estimate is probably understated, but we estimated it, and let me tell you why. Whenever a year ago, the recommender systems that people are, when you run the internet, the news, the videos, the music, the products that are being recommended to you, because as you know, the internet has trillions of, I don't know how many trillions, but trillions of things out there, and your phone is, 3 inches squared, and So the ability for them to fit all of that information down to something such as small real estate is through a system, an amazing system called recommender systems. These recommender systems used to be all based on CPU approaches, but the recent migration to deep learning and now generative AI has really put these recommender systems now directly into the path of GPU acceleration. It needs GPU acceleration for the embeddings, it needs GPU acceleration for the nearest neighbor search, it needs GPU acceleration for the re-ranking, and it needs GPU acceleration to generate the augmented information for you. So GPUs are in every single step of a recommender system now. And as you know, recommender system is the single largest software engine on the planet. Almost every major company in the world has to run these large recommender systems. Whenever you use ChatGPT as being inference, whenever you hear about Midjourney and just the number of things that they're generating for consumers, when you see Getty, the work that we do with Getty and Firefly from Adobe, these are all generative models. The list goes on, and none of these, as I mentioned, existed a year ago. 100% new.
Your next question comes from the line of Stacy Rasgon from Bernstein Research. Your line is open.
Hi guys, thanks for taking my question. Colette, I wanted to touch on your comment that you expected the next generation of product, I assume that meant Blackwell, to be supply constrained. Can you dig into that a little bit? What is the driver of that? Why does that get constrained as Hopper is easing up? And how long do you expect that to be constrained? Like, do you expect the next generation to be constrained like all the way through calendar 25? Like, when do those start to ease?
Yeah, the first thing is overall our supply is improving. Overall, our supply chain is just doing an incredible job for us. Everything from, of course, the wafers, the packaging, the memories, all of the power regulators, to transceivers and networking and cables and you name it. The list of components that we ship, as you know, people think that NVIDIA GPU is like a chip, but the NVIDIA Hopper GPU has 35,000 parts. It weighs 70 pounds. These things are really complicated things. We've built, people call it an AI supercomputer for good reason. If you ever look in the back of the data center, the systems, the cabling system is mind-boggling. It is the most dense, complex cabling system for networking the world's ever seen. Our InfiniBand business grew 5x year over year. The supply chain is really doing fantastic supporting us. And so overall, the supply is improving. We expect the demand will continue to be stronger than our supply provides, and through the year. And we'll do our best. The cycle times are improving, and we're going to continue to do our best. However, whenever we have new products, as you know, it ramps from 0 to a very large number, and you can't do that overnight. You know, everything is ramped up. It doesn't step up. And so whenever we have a new generation of products, and right now we are ramping H200s, there's no way we can reasonably keep up on demand in a short term as we ramp. We're ramping Spectrum X. We're doing incredibly well with Spectrum X. It's our brand new product into the world of Ethernet. InfiniBand is the standard for AI dedicated systems. Ethernet with Spectrum X. Ethernet is just not a very good scale-out system. But with Spectrum X, we've augmented, layered on top of Ethernet, fundamental new capabilities like adaptive routing, congestion control, noise isolation or traffic isolation, so that we can optimize Ethernet for AI. And so InfiniBand will be our AI dedicated infrastructure Spectrum X will be our
Cinnamon
AI
sounds like
optimized
Cinnabon to me.
networking, and that is ramping. And so we'll you know, with all new products, demand is greater than supply, and that's just kind of the nature of new products. And we work as fast as we can to catch up with the demand. But overall, net, overall, our supply is increasing very nicely.
Your next question comes from the line of Matt Ramsey from TD Cowen. Your line is open.
Good afternoon, Jensen and Colette. Congrats on the results. I wanted to ask, I guess, a two-part question, and it comes at what Stacy was just getting at on your demand being significantly more than your supply, even though supply is improving. And I guess the two sides of the question are, I guess, first for Colette, like, how are you guys thinking about allocation of products in terms of customer readiness to deploy and sort of monitoring if there's any kind of build-up of product that might not yet be turned on? And then, I guess, Jensen, for you, I'd be really interested to hear you speak a bit about a thought that you and your company are putting into the allocation of your product across customers, many of which compete with each other, across industries to smaller startup companies, to things in the healthcare arena, to government. It's a very, very unique technology that you're enabling, and I'd be really interested to hear you speak a bit about how you think about, quote unquote, fairly allocating for the good of your company, but also for the good of the industry. Thanks.
Let me first start with your question, thanks, about how we are working with our customers as they look into how they are building out their GPU instances and our allocation process. The folks that we work with, our customers that we work with, have been partners with us for many years as we have been assisting them both in what they set up in the cloud as well as what they are setting up internally. Many of these providers have multiple products going at one time to serve so many different needs across their end customers, but also what they need internally. So they are working in advance, of course, thinking about those new clusters that they will need, and our discussions with them continue, not only on our Hopper architecture, but helping them understand the next wave and getting their interest and getting their outlook for the demand that they want. So it's always a moving process in terms of what they will purchase, what is still being built, and what is in use for end customers. But the relationships that we've built and their understanding of the sophistication of the build has really helped us with that allocation and has helped us with our communications with them.
First, our CSPs have a very clear view of our product roadmap and transitions. And that transparency with our CSPs gives them the confidence of which products to place and where and when. And so they know the timing to the best of our ability, and they know quantities, and of course allocation. We allocate fairly. Do the best we can to allocate fairly, and to avoid allocating unnecessarily. As you mentioned earlier, why allocate something when a data center is not ready? Nothing is more difficult than to have anything sit around. And so allocate fairly and to avoid allocating unnecessarily. And where we do, the question that you asked about the end markets, you know that we have an excellent ecosystem with OEMs, ODMs, CSPs, and very importantly, end markets. What NVIDIA is really unique about is that we bring our customers, we bring our partners, CSPs and OEMs, we bring them customers. biology companies, the healthcare companies, financial services companies, AI developers, large language model developers, autonomous vehicle companies, robotics companies. There's just a giant suite of robotics companies that are emerging. They're warehouse robotics to surgical robotics to humanoid robotics, all kinds of really interesting robotics companies, agricultural robotics companies. All of these startups, large companies, healthcare, financial services, and auto and such, are working on NVIDIA's platform. We support them directly. And oftentimes, we can have a twofer by allocating to a CSP and bringing the customer to the CSP at the same time. And so this ecosystem, you're absolutely right that it's vibrant, but at the core of it, we want to allocate fairly, with avoiding waste and looking for opportunities to connect partners and end users. We're looking for those opportunities all the time.
Your next question comes from the line of Timothy Arcuri from UBS. Your line is open.
Thanks a lot. I wanted to ask about how you're converting backlog into revenue. Obviously, lead times for your products have come down quite a bit. Colette, you didn't talk about the inventory purchase commitments, but if I sort of add up your inventory plus the purchase commits and your prepaid supply, sort of the aggregate of your supply, it was actually down a touch. How should we read that? Is that just you saying that you don't need to make as much of a financial commitment to your suppliers because the lead times are lower, or is that maybe you're reaching some sort of steady state where you're closer to filling your order book and your backlog? Thanks.
Yeah, so let me highlight on those three different areas of how we look at our suppliers. You're correct, our inventory on hand, given our allocation that we're on, we're trying to, as things come into inventory, immediately work to ship them to our customers. I think our customer appreciates our ability to meet the schedules that we've looked for. The second piece of it is our purchase commitments. Our purchase commitments have many different components into it, components that we need for manufacturing, but also often we are procuring capacity that we may need. The lengths of that need for capacity or the lengths of the components are all different. Some of them may be for the next 2 quarters, some of them may be for multiple years. I can say the same regarding our prepaids. Our prepaids are pre-designed to make sure that we have the reserved capacity that we need at several of our manufacturing suppliers as we look forward. So wouldn't read into anything regarding approximately about the same numbers as we are increasing our supply. All of them just have different lengths, as we have sometimes had to buy things in long lead times or things that needed capacity to be built for us.
Your next question comes from a line of Ben Wright from Melius Research. Your line is open.
Yeah, thanks. Congratulations on the results. Colette, I wanted to talk about your comment regarding gross margins and that they should go back to the mid-70s. If you don't mind unpacking that, and also, is that due to the HBM content in the new products, and what do you think are the drivers of that comment? Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for the question. We highlighted in our opening remarks really about our Q4 results and our outlook for Q1. Both of those quarters are unique. Those 2 quarters are unique in their gross margin, as they include some benefits from favorable component costs in the supply chain, kind of across both our compute and networking, and also in several different stages of our manufacturing process. So looking forward, we have visibility into a mid-70s gross margin for the rest of the fiscal year, taking us back to where we were before this Q4 and Q1 peak that we've had here. So we're really looking at just a balance of our mix. Mix is always going to be our largest driver of what we will be shipping for the rest of the year, and those are really just the drivers.
Your next question comes from a line of C.J. Muse from Cantor Fitzgerald. Your line is open.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for taking the question. Bigger picture question for you, Jensen. When you think about the million-x improvement in GPU compute over the last decade and expectations for similar improvements in the next, how do your customers think about the long-term usability of their NVIDIA investments that they're making today? Do today's training clusters become tomorrow's inference clusters? How do you see this playing out? Thank you.
Hey, CJ, thanks for the question. Yeah, that's the really cool part. If you look at the reason why we're able to improve performance so much, it's because we have two characteristics about our platform. One is that it's accelerated, and two, it's programmable. It's not brittle. NVIDIA is the only architecture that has gone from the very, very beginning, literally the very beginning when CNNs and Alex Krizhevsky and Ilya Sutskever and Jeff Hinton first revealed AlexNet, all the way through RNNs to LSTMs to every RLs to deep learning RLs to transformers to every single version and every species that have come along, vision transformers, multimodality transformers, every single, and then now time sequence stuff, and every single variation, every single species of AI that has come along, we've been able to support it, optimize our stack for it, and deploy it into our installed base. This is really the great, amazing part. On the one hand, we can invent new architectures and new technologies like our tensor cores, like our transformer engine for tensor cores, improve new numerical formats and structures of processing like we've done with the different generations of tensor cores, meanwhile supporting the installed base at the same time. And so as a result, we take all of our new software algorithm inventions, all of the inventions, new inventions of models of the industry, and it runs on our install base on the one hand. On the other hand, whenever we see something revolutionary, we can, like transformers, we can create something brand new, like the Hopper transformer engine, and implement it into future. And so we simultaneously have this ability to bring software to the install base and keep making it better and better and better, so our customers' install base is enriched over time with our new software. On the other hand, for new technologies, create revolutionary capabilities. Don't be surprised if in our future generation, all of a sudden, amazing breakthroughs in large language models were made possible. And that those breakthroughs, some of which will be in software because they run CUDA, will be made available to the install base. And so we carry everybody with us on the one hand, we make giant breakthroughs on the other hand.
Your next question comes from the line of Aaron Rakers from Wells Fargo. Your line is open.
Yeah, thanks for taking the question. I wanted to ask about the China business. I know that in the prepared comments you said that you started shipping some alternative solutions into China. You also pointed out that you expect that contribution to continue to be about a mid-single digit percent of your total data center business. So I guess the question is what is the extent of products that you're shipping today into the China market, and why should we not expect that, maybe other alternative solutions come to the market and expand your breadth to participate in that opportunity again? Thank you.
At the core, remember, the U.S. government wants to limit the latest capabilities of NVIDIA's accelerated computing and AI to the Chinese market. And the U.S. government would like to see us be as successful in China as possible. Within those two constraints, within those two pillars, if you will, are the restrictions. And so we had to pause when the new restrictions came out. We immediately paused so that we understood what the restrictions are, reconfigured our products in a way that is not software hackable in any way. And that took some time. And so we reset our product offering to China, and now we're sampling to customers in China. And we're going to do our best to compete in that marketplace and succeed in that marketplace within the specifications of the restriction, and so that's it. This last quarter our business significantly declined as we paused in the marketplace. We stopped shipping in the marketplace. We expect this quarter to be about the same, but after that, hopefully we can go compete for our business and do our best, and we'll see how it turns out.
Your next question comes from a line of Harsh Kumar from Piper Sandler. Your line is open.
Yeah, hey, Jensen, Colette, and NVIDIA team. First of all, congratulations on a stunning quarter and guide. I wanted to talk about a little bit about your software business, and it's pleasing to hear that it's over $1 billion. But I was hoping, Jensen or Colette, if you could just help us understand what the different parts and pieces are for the software business. In other words, just help us unpack it a little bit so we can get a better understanding of where that growth is coming from.
Let me take a step back and explain the fundamental reason why NVIDIA will be very successful in software. So first, as you know, accelerated computing really grew in the cloud. In the cloud service providers have really large engineering teams, and we work with them in a way that allows them to operate and manage their own business. And whenever there are any issues, we have large teams assigned to them, and their engineering teams are working directly with our engineering teams, and we enhance, we fix, we maintain, we patch the complicated stack of software that's involved in accelerated computing. As you know, accelerated computing is very different than general purpose computing. You're not starting from a program like C++, you compile it and things run on all your CPUs. The stacks of software necessary for every domain, from data processing, SQL versus SQL structured data versus all the images and text and PDF, which is unstructured, to classical machine learning, to computer vision, to speech, to large language models, all of recommender systems. All of these things require different software stacks. That's the reason why NVIDIA has hundreds of libraries. If you don't have software, you can't open new markets. If you don't have software, you can't open and enable new applications. Software is fundamentally necessary for accelerated computing. This is the fundamental difference between accelerated computing and general purpose computing that most people took a long time to understand. And now people understand that the software is really key. In the way that we work with CSPs, that's really easy. We have large teams that are working with their large teams. However, now that generative AI is enabling every enterprise and every enterprise software company to embrace accelerated computing, and when it is now essential to embrace accelerated computing because it is no longer possible, no longer likely anyhow, to sustain improved throughput through just general purpose computing. All of these enterprise software companies and enterprise companies don't have large engineering teams to be able to maintain and optimize their software stack to run across all of the world's clouds and private clouds and on-prem. So we are going to do the management, the optimization, the patching, the tuning, the install base optimization for all of their software stacks, containerize them into our stack. We call it NVIDIA AI Enterprise. And the way we go to market with it is, think of that NVIDIA AI Enterprise now as a runtime, like an operating system. It's an operating system for artificial intelligence. And we charge $4,500 per GPU per year. And my guess is that every enterprise in the world, every software enterprise company that are deploying software in all the clouds and private clouds and on-prem will run on NVIDIA AI Enterprise, especially, obviously, for our GPUs. And so this is going to likely be a very significant business over time. We're off to a great start, and Colette mentioned that it's already at $1 billion run rate, and we're really just getting started.
Thank you. I will now turn the call back over to Jensen Huang, CEO, for closing remarks.
All right. Here's
The
the
computer
closing.
industry is making two simultaneous platform shifts at the same time. The trillion-dollar install base of data centers is transitioning from general purpose to accelerated computing. Every data
Yeah,
center
Gary, it was very,
will
very
be
good.
accelerated,
Very, very
so the
good.
world can keep up with the computing demand with increasing throughput while managing cost and energy. The incredible speed up of NVIDIA enabled a whole new computing paradigm, generative AI, where software can learn, understand, and generate any information, from human language to the structure of biology and the 3D world. We are now at the beginning of a new industry where AI-dedicated data centers process massive raw data to refine it into digital intelligence. Like AC power generation plants of the last industrial revolution, NVIDIA AI supercomputers are essentially AI generation factories of this industrial revolution. Every company and every industry is fundamentally built on their proprietary business intelligence, and in the future, their proprietary generative AI. Generative AI has kicked off a whole new investment cycle to build the next $1 trillion of infrastructure of AI generation factories. We believe these two trends will drive a doubling of the world's data center infrastructure installed base in the next 5 years, and will represent an annual market opportunity in the hundreds of billions. This new AI infrastructure will open up a whole new world of applications not possible today. We started the AI journey with the hyperscale cloud providers and consumer internet companies. And now every industry is on board, from automotive to healthcare to financial services to industrial to telecom.
All right, guys. Just to do a quick overview in my words, holy crap. Absolutely amazing. Record quarterly revenue beat of $22.1 billion, up 22% from just Q3. Record quarterly data up $18.4 billion, 27% from Q3, and a record full year revenue of $60.9 billion, up 126% from last year. So absolutely amazing. The CEO has nothing but great things to say about this company and its future. So I am excited to see what NVIDIA has to hold. AI is our future, and they are comparing this AI to the Transformer, to a revolution in electricity, powering homes. Now it's robust in trying to maintain future power, future everything. I mean, AI is our future. It's taking multiple tasks. It's reducing them. It's trying to create cleaner future, more robust energy. It's trying to capitalize on a little bit of everything. It's making everybody's life a little bit easier, less mundane. It's taking on more tasks, and I really think it's going to be great for our future. Regardless, whether you're on board with it or not, this is what's been pushing our market up for the past, I'd say, 6 months, 8 months. Heck, time's flying by. But regardless, guys, whether you believe it or not, keep your eyes out for NVIDIA. Currently at $726, up over 7%. Let's just take a little peeky gander. Up over 7% from its closing. So amazing. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being with me, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Peace.